What's up, everybody? This is AY from Playdays. So recently, the Epic Games Store bought out the entirety of Psyonix, the developers of Rocket League, and this, understandably, has everybody pretty upset with the whole Epic Games Store Valve rivalry thing going on. Now, me personally, I don't use the Epic Games Store. I find I have no reason to. None of my friends are on that platform, so I really have no reason to use it to begin with. However, it does break up the monopoly on that Valve has on the PC gaming market. And, there is something to be said about that. Typically monopolies are not a great thing. In fact, at least in America, the government actively tries to keep monopolies from forming. I mean, there's a big conversation about that going on with Disney right now. Just with Disney acquiring Fox and all these other studios. Because, let's face it, pretty soon everything we watch will have a Disney logo slapped on it. But that's beside the point. We're not here to talk about Disney today. We're here to talk about the Epic Games Store and Psyonix. So, as I said, it's understandable why people are upset. And to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of worried about the future of this game on Steam as well. Now, obviously, once this becomes official, it's pretty likely that the Epic Games Store isn't going to allow Rocket League to be sold on Steam. Now, what that means for the future of the game, who knows? Right now, Rocket League is being bombarded with negative reviews, or at least positive reviews that are hiding the negative reviews, just basically saying, down with the Epic Games Store. Now, I can't speak for what all everybody has to say about the Epic Games Store. Like I said, I don't use it. I don't know everything that goes into it. All I know is that people are pretty upset with the entire thing. And I get it. I really do. For so long, it's just been Valve. It's just been Steam that has been the go-to for the PC gaming market. And I guess, I've only been a part of the PC gaming market for a little while, but I'm starting to assume that we don't adjust to change very well. Hell, like I said, I've only been a part of it for a little while, and I still don't want to use the Epic Games Store because I'm accustomed to using Steam. That's where everybody I know is. That's where the games I play are. And I do think it's kind of sad that the whole debate that you see a lot of times on console is this idea of exclusivity and how it's bad for gaming. And, the exclusivity argument kind of led to the lack of crossplay that everybody's clamoring for. Xbox is trying to, or at least Microsoft is trying to get into this crossplay identity, and really and truly it's really only because they were so far behind Sony in terms of sales in this current console generation. Now, would Sony be more open to crossplay if they weren't the leading console or sale, whatever? If they weren't leading in console sales, who knows? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. All the responses they've given are pretty cagey, to say the least. But it all comes to the exclusivity argument as well. Like, Rocket League was, I believe, exclusive on PS4 for a while. I may have my facts wrong there, but I believe it was a PS4 exclusive, and then it came to Xbox. I know it came to Xbox after PS4. I'm not entirely certain if it was on PC before PlayStation. If someone could fact check me on that, I would greatly appreciate it. But it's a game that has been, I guess you could say, not free to play, obviously, but it's had a degree of freedom to it for a while, damn it. One of the biggest selling points is that it has crossplay between, obviously not PS4 and Xbox, but it has crossplay between like PC and Xbox, or PC and PlayStation. I even think the Switch is involved with it now. I'm not entirely certain about that, but I believe that is true. And this whole idea of exclusivity went out the window. And so now, making it to where the game can only be bought on the Epic Store is starting to bring back these and not just Rocket League, but a lot of games as well. But this whole exclusivity deal that isn't supposed to be emblematic of the PC gaming world is all of a sudden becoming a big issue. Now, from what I've read and what I've watched, Epic Games says that they have no intention, least right now, to stop selling the game on Steam, and as far as the foreseeable future, has no intention to stop supporting the game on Steam. So as of right now, that means that all of us who have this game on Steam are going to be perfectly fine. We can still play this game. We can still play with our friends. But if, say, I have a friend who's never played Rocket League but is really interested in the game, he or she wants to, buy the game so we can play together, it's not really guaranteed right now that we'd still be able to. And that's a problem. From what I've read and what I've watched, Epic Games hasn't said anything about the game being crossplay between Steam and the Epic Games Store. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really see how they could get away with, I shouldn't say get away because they do own the game now, so they can do whatever the hell they want, but I don't see how the Epic Games Store could get away with not supporting crossplay, or even better, how they could get away with not continuing to sell the game on Steam, just because it has a huge player base. A lot of people are playing this game, and I just think it would be foolish if they said, well, the hell with Steam, this is our game now, and we're only going to support it on our platform. So, in that regard, from what I can tell, a lot of people, when reading reviews and, everything else I've read, a lot of people are worried that all of a sudden they're not going to be able to play their favorite game anymore. And that's a big deal. It is a very big concern. It's a very valid concern. But I don't think that's what's going to happen, just because I don't see how it's possible. I mean, you can't just tell all of your player base that, hey, well, this game isn't available on Steam anymore, so you have to buy it again on the Epic Games Store if you want to play this game. I don't see that happening, just because I don't see them making any money off of it. So yeah, right now the future is kind of up in the air for Rocket League, and it's sad. And I understand the review bombs, or the the disguised negative reviews, which is reading those reviews today was my first experience with that, and that is hilarious to say the least. But yeah, no, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with this game? I really hope that Epic Games doesn't make the mistake of saying, well, you're shit out of luck if you want to play this game on Steam because we own the game now. I really hope they don't make that mistake, just because if they I don't want to speak for everybody, but I have a feeling if they tried to pull something like that, this game's player base would just be non-existent. And like I said, I don't use the Epic Games Store. I don't know if it's really as bad as everybody says it is. I just don't use it because I have no need to. All the games I play are on Steam. And who knows? Who knows what the future's going to hold? I hope that it doesn't come to, well, you're going to have to buy this game again on the Epic Games Store if you want to continue to play it. If it came to the point where the Epic Games Store said, well, this game will no longer be supported on Steam, you have to play it on our launcher. If that came to pass, the way I see it playing out is them making all the Steam users for the game decide or have to fill out a form saying, hey, I do own this game, here's how long I've owned this game, and I need a key for this game because I'm not going to purchase it again. That's how I see it playing out. I don't know if that's what would happen, but if it does, if the worst case scenario happens and they do remove the game from Steam entirely, even for the people who purchased it, if that scenario comes to pass, I hope to God that they decide to give keys to the people who own the game. Because, let's face it, most of us aren't willing to buy a game more than once. And, outside of the diehards, I don't see the player base of this game buying this game more than once, simply because they're going to feel slighted by that. And rightfully so. So anyway, are you a fan of Rocket League? Do you enjoy playing it? Are you interested in buying it before it goes off of Steam completely? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you have any issues with the Epic Games Store, or just want to say, hey, the hell with these guys, put it down in the comments. Reach out to our social media pages. If you just want to say something funny, that's cool too. You want to say you hate the video or like the video, let us know. I've pretty much said everything I can about this game, and I'm sure I'll have more to say eventually. But that's all I've got for today, guys. So this has been AY from Playdays, and thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you in the next video.